Hi Aquarius, and welcome to Dragon Tail Tarot. My name is Ariel, and I'm going to be doing a special little full moon lunar eclipse in Capricorn reading for you all. This is coming up on July 16th. It's going to be the next eclipse in our eclipse cycle for this year. We had the solar eclipse in Cancer on July 2nd, and so that really illuminates potentials, possibilities, places where you would like to grow, places where you would like to bring more energy into certain areas of your life. And so this is going to be the opposite energy, which happens 2 weeks later. And you'll definitely notice the difference. The lunar eclipse is more about releasing, purging, letting go, and kind of those big emotional transformations that happen on a more unconscious, subconscious level. So astrologically, the general energy for Aquarius, this moon is going to be affecting your 12th house. That doesn't mean in your natal chart it may be affecting that. So this is, again, I want to point out, a general reading. It may not resonate for every single Aquarius, especially the card reading. But the general energy for Aquarius is that Capricorn full moon lunar eclipse, all happening in the 12th house. That is your Pisces house. That is the area of life where things really go to get released and purged. Any kind of junk that's been in your past that hasn't been cleaned or released or let go of, it goes to wait in the 12th house until you just go, you know what, I'm so done. And I bet that this is going to have kind of a two-sided effect, because Capricorn, the sign that the moon will be in, is all about work. It's about ambitions. It's about that higher purpose in life, big career, public image, etc. So any of those things that you kind of went, oh, this is what I want, and I know it's what I want, I'm going to go for it, and you were working on it very hard. And you might really have started noticing this getting triggered, around last December and the beginning of this year, because that's when we had our last two eclipse patterns. So now you're starting to go, wow, I'm starting to see this even more, that there's something either around work or my personal ambitions that really isn't jiving with my soul, and I've got to kind of figure out ways to either change it, clear it, purge it, let it go. So those are kind of the things that are going to be hitting you. And it's definitely one of those times that you are more emotional, you are more sensitive. Everybody's sensitive during a full moon. Lunar eclipse energy is very high, but for you in particular, more so than any of the other signs, honestly, because this is hitting that very sensitive house of yours. It's very intuitive, very perceptive, very gentle, very psychic. It's a good idea to kind of surround yourself and with people that are not so harsh, in situations that are not so harsh. And if you can't avoid those things entirely, make sure that you have a lot of respite from that. Make sure that you have a lot of refuge. That's a big word, is refuge, it's coming to me. Okay, so let's look at some cards. I'm going to pull some spirit animal cards. I love this deck. It's really beautiful. And I'm just going to first start with 3 animal spirits to embody what you should be focusing on this next 6-month cycle, starting with this full moon. Angels, Archangel Michael, Jesus, Mary, helpers and healers. Just give me divine guidance as I do the full moon lunar eclipse in Capricorn reading for the sun sign of Aquarius. Alright, these are beautiful. Okay, so the first one coming up is Grasshopper. This is such a great one because this is take a leap of faith. And this is telling you sometimes you have to trust in the things that you can't see, and the things that you can't completely put in the bank. It's like you've got to go with the intuition, got to go with the feeling. I also believe very highly, very strongly, from my own personal experience as well as, legend and lore, that the grasshopper is very connected to just pure good luck. Every time I see a grasshopper, I know that business is going to get better, any kind of financial worries are, going to be fine. it never fails. I'll see a little grasshopper on my window or outside of my door. And there's something about him. He's just fresh and he's green and he takes that jump just when he knows to take that jump. They're so cool. I love my little grasshoppers. So that's a wonderful card to pull up. The groundhog spirit. Here he is, time to let go. And this is a definite letting go cycle. I love my little groundhog. He is a very sacred little guy. It's funny, we think about Groundhog Day, February 2nd, as being kind of a silly, funny thing, you know, and it's got that thing about, you know, is it going to be long winter or early spring and all that. But he's connected to Imbolc, which is an old Celtic midwinter festival. And so that's where that comes from. That's where that whole idea of, you know, being right in that middle of winter and spring. And so there is that letting go. There is that looking back and looking forward kind of energy, because, you know, that winter is that old energy passing away, things that have died, and the spring is coming. Unlike Game of Thrones, the winter is not coming, the spring is coming, and that groundhog's telling you this. So this is a beautiful, I love that he's holding that little heart. He's so adorable. Love the little groundhog. So definitely time to let go. And I also think of the groundhog as being very grounded, very earth-based, a little bit like the wombat card that's in there, that's all about homing and grounding. So this is also saying, at the same time you're letting go, also ground yourself. Also focus on that connection to the earth. And then we're getting the little squirrel coming in with the little acorn. Look how cool he is. And it's believe in yourself, you know. And again, I would also say that the squirrel is always about preparation, getting ready for something interesting enough. Like we're talking about winter. Especially when they start to feel the shift, right? They start to store up the seeds or the nuts or whatever it is in their tree. They're always looking ahead, always looking ahead. And so these are things that, you know, it's like take that leap of faith and let go and be prepared for what comes next. Don't be so attached to where you are now. Be more attached to what's coming next. Be more hopeful, not so much attached. Attached isn't always the greatest word. Attachment is more negative, a connotation, but grounding and centering is a more positive way to look at that. Where you're not so much, because attachment feels like very codependent, very kind of, but grounding and stability is good, because then when you come from a place of personal strength, the attachments and the connections that you make aren't needy. They're, you know, they're reciprocal. You're giving as much as you're taking. So that's definitely a beautiful pattern, Aquarius. I think that's extremely positive. So next I'm going to pull just a couple cards from the Rider-Waite Tarot, just the regular basic tarot we all know. And I'm going to do a past, present, future, and that's going to be just around this next 6 months, starting with that full moon lunar eclipse on July 16th. That does happen on a Tuesday, and it happens at 5:38 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So depending on what time zone you are in the world, you may or may not see that full moon eclipse. Yeah, a lot of balancing going on here, Aquarius. Right now you're really just focusing on work. You're focusing on saving money, probably just that day-to-day in and out, which sometimes doesn't feel very glamorous or very momentous, but it's actually, there's a lot of point in that. There's a lot of purpose in that. Because you're staying, you know, focused in the moment. Focused in the moment. You're going to do each job as it comes to you, and before you know it, all that effort is lined up, and there's something to show for it. I'm going to pull a few cards to modify that, see what comes around him. So there's definitely, oh wow, there's definitely some choices to make here, Aquarius. My goodness, you may be looking at a new job or new vocation, because as you work on your stuff right now, you're definitely thinking about, I got a choice to make. I got to figure out, do I want to stay doing what I'm doing right now, or do I want to do something in the future that's new? And right now you don't feel like you have the complete picture, because in that card, of course, she's blindfolded. So it's like, just give it a little time, because this is new. So then, again, you know, as it progresses forward, you've got that Queen of Swords. So there definitely is. It's that air energy. And this is a mixture of intuition and also logic, because it's a feminine energy. It doesn't matter if you're male or female, these are not gender specific. So it's really about, you know, bringing together that feminine energy of the queen along with that sword, which is the intellect, and making a good choice from that position. And I think that a lot of this has to do with new money, new job, new vocation, new ideas of how you can make money, how you could start even your own business, because that's what's coming in around that. So that's what, you know, is going into the past position. That's also what I believe the Cancer new moon solar eclipse, you know, kind of shine a light on. It's like, here's what you know, it's like, oh yeah, I got all these things I got to think about. So in the present position right here is that Six of Pentacles, and this again is about balance. You know, another Pentacle card, which is all these earth element. And so it's like, this is that reciprocity I was talking about. It's the give and take, see? So he's holding that scale of balance, giving to the poor, making sure that, you know, he still has enough to take care of his own needs, but also making sure that he can help those that really need the help. And that can translate into work, that can translate into relationships where, you know, you can give generously without bankrupting yourself. And that body or soul or heart or mind, you know, there's a lot of ways to go bankrupt, not just financially. So coming up around that Six of Pentacles, Aquarius, so modify that. Yeah, I think a lot of this gets into the fears, because, you know, there's that fear of the unknown coming into that Wheel of Fortune. Wheel of Fortune always brings in a little bit of that element of the unknown, but it's also like, if you don't play the game of life, you don't know if you're going to win or lose. You have to take a chance, and I think that their victory is there. There definitely is that victorious outcome, and it may be a small victory first, you know, and not the big victory right away, but you will have something to encourage it. I think the fear, though, for you, though, definitely Aquarius, is you're afraid of it not paying off. And that's something that's really high on your mind, especially with that Capricorn energy coming in with that full moon, because trust me, we Capricorns, that's my sign, you know, we're very security conscious, and so it's kind of bringing that up for you. And I always say that this card, I love, if you've ever seen on YouTube Ramblin' Mike, I love his readings, and I love how he talks about, I think this is a pair of soulmates, you know, and they're cast out of the temple, they feel like they're not able to get back in there together, but, you know, really what this is and I have different tarot decks, they all similar message, is that the light is on, the party's going on, the warmth and the generosity and the love and all that good stuff, it's in there. And you've chosen to cut yourself off from it, from source, from everything that's, you know, making you happy. And I like how Mike always says that when one's out in the cold, the other feels out in the cold too. And so that is so true on this card. It really is. I love that. You know, because this is telling me that it's a matter of your own perspective and decisions. You don't have to be out in the cold. You don't have to be feeling locked out. And again, and that card just leads right into your future position right here with that Five of Cups. This is all a matter of change of perspective, Aquarius. And your mind is a powerful thing. You are the ultimate air sign. You have that ultimate thinking and knowing. So right here, there's the cups you're focused on that haven't worked out. Things that have been disappointing, hurtful, painful. Here's the ones that are still standing up. Those are fine. And it's a matter of what you focus on. Are you going to focus on the things that went wrong, or are you going to focus on the stuff that still got lots of potential and is still very strong? And let's just pull a few cards around that Five of Cups, see what modifies this guy. Yeah, Aquarius, I think it's really, this is so much a matter of you tuning into yourself. Here's that moon. This is that little mystery, the subconscious mind, you know, and it has a definite big effect on you. I think this full moon lunar eclipse is going to be major for you guys. You're really going to feel it, and it's really going to restart some things, and it's going to connect you with a deeper aspect of yourself that you may either have not been in touch with for a while, or you're like, wow, I really didn't even know that existed. You know, there's things coming up to the surface with this. You know, this is you, you know, feeling like maybe disappointed or let down by other people in your circle. You know, it's like they've given up and you're the one kind of picking up after them and saying, well, okay, I guess I'm here to soldier on without you, all right. And then there's the 6 that comes right after it, 5 and 6. Boom, boom. You know, you're really in a direct progression. A lot of it has to do with the choices you're making and the mindset. And this is you moving on. This is you choosing to move on out of there. You know, old disappointments, people or situations that haven't served you well. This is you leaving that rocky water, going into a more calm place, you know. And maybe also just, you know, symbolically taking the best parts of yourself or other people that have been good to you. You're going to keep them. You're not going to lose them. You're just going to lose the drama, lose the people who've been holding you back. So these are all very positive, Aquarius. I think it's you know, these moon cycles, they always shine a light on things, and sometimes they're really difficult to look at. I think in your situation it may be, you know, because it's really bringing some big things to the surface, but you know, what a gift that it can balance that you have that potential to focus on this and just say, you know what, I can face it, I can look at it and move past it. There's a little bit of facing your fears in this reading, Aquarius. Alright, so I'm just going to pull one of the Angel Oracle cards and see what comes up as far as angelic advice about how to handle that next 6 months. There it is. It's time to go. It doesn't get more clear. It doesn't get more clear. This is absolutely a moving forward, Aquarius. You are taking big, bold, dramatic action. You see where you want to go. Feel it in your heart. Feel it in your intuition. And act on it. You know, don't second guess yourself. Sun rises and sets each day, and it's the same with the avenues of life. See the beauty within each sunset and know that the sun will rise again. Endings are merely the start of a new beginning, and we are with you through each phase and cycle. This is so cool. So cool. I love it. So Aquarius, these are your messages for this lunar eclipse coming up. This is a brand new channel that I've started not long ago at all, and so please hit subscribe if you enjoyed the content. Give it a dragon claw up. And great to see y'all. I will be back soon, and have a wonderful July, and take care.